Have you ever wondered whether traveling after 70 is still a good idea? While the thrill of exploring new places and immersing yourself in different cultures can feel irresistible, there are hidden dangers that many seniors overlook until it's too late. As we age, our bodies and minds change in ways that can turn a dream trip into a challenging, even risky experience. In this video, we're diving into 5 critical reasons why traveling after 70 demands extra caution. Reasons that could save you from unexpected health crises, financial pitfalls, and more. Stick with us until the end because the final reason reveals a surprising risk that catches countless seniors off guard, and knowing it could make all the difference for your next adventure. Before we begin, I would appreciate it if you like this video, you can help me continue to spread the old age lesson. If you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. If you like this video, please comment number 1. If you don't like it, comment number 0 to let me know, so I can make a better video for you. Now let's get started. Number 1. Increased health risks and medical emergencies. One of the most significant and pressing concerns for individuals contemplating travel after the age of 70 is the markedly increased likelihood of encountering sudden and potentially severe health issues. Aging inherently brings a degree of unpredictability to our physical well-being. Chronic conditions such as heart disease, hypertension, diabetes, arthritis, and respiratory ailments, many of which may remain manageable in the familiar comfort of home, can unexpectedly escalate into full-blown emergencies when least anticipated. At home, accessing timely medical care is often a straightforward process. A quick call to a familiar doctor or a short trip to a nearby clinic can resolve most issues. However, when traveling, particularly in unfamiliar regions, remote areas, or foreign countries, the logistics of obtaining adequate and prompt medical attention become exponentially more complex. A minor health hiccup that might have been a simple fix in a known environment can spiral into a critical, even life-threatening situation when you're miles away from your trusted healthcare network. For many older adults, the specter of a medical emergency while traveling is not a vague or hypothetical worry. It's a tangible and documented risk. Consider the physical toll of travel itself. Prolonged flights, for instance, significantly elevate the chances of developing deep vein thrombosis, DVT, a condition where blood clots form in the legs due to extended immobility. These clots can dislodge and travel to the lungs, causing a pulmonary embolism, a potentially fatal complication. High altitudes, whether experienced during air travel or in mountainous destinations, can exacerbate strain on the cardiovascular and respiratory systems, posing particular danger to those with pre-existing heart or lung conditions. Even seemingly benign factors like dehydration, heat exhaustion, or fatigue can strike with disproportionate severity in older adults, especially in climates or environments vastly different from what they're accustomed to. Moreover, seniors are statistically more susceptible to infections, meaning that exposure to unfamiliar pathogens, be it bacteria, viruses, or parasites, in new locales can trigger illnesses that are far more debilitating than they would be for younger travelers. To illustrate the gravity of these risks, take the real-life example of James, a spirited 74-year-old retiree with a lifelong passion for exploration. He and his wife meticulously planned a 2-week Caribbean cruise, envisioning it as a low-effort, relaxing way to enjoy new sights without the physical demands of more adventurous travel. Yet, just 4 days into the journey, disaster struck. James began experiencing sharp, unrelenting chest pain, a symptom he initially dismissed as indigestion but which soon revealed itself to be a cardiac event. The ship's onboard medical team, while competent for basic care, lacked the resources to handle a serious heart issue. Stranded in the middle of the ocean, James faced a harrowing wait for an emergency helicopter evacuation to the nearest port with a hospital, a delay of several critical hours. Thankfully, he survived the ordeal, but the incident transformed what was meant to be a dream vacation into a traumatic nightmare. Reflecting later, James admitted that he hadn't fully grappled with the potential health risks his age presented, a miscalculation that nearly cost him his life. Compounding these physical vulnerabilities is the often overlooked issue of medical insurance. Many seniors operate under the mistaken assumption that their domestic health insurance will seamlessly cover them wherever their travels take them. The harsh reality often dawns only amid a crisis. Standard policies frequently exclude or limit coverage for treatment abroad, leaving travelers exposed to exorbitant costs. Without proper travel insurance tailored to international or emergency scenarios, expenses for hospital stays, diagnostic tests, emergency surgeries, or even basic prescriptions can skyrocket into the tens of thousands of dollars. Stories abound of retirees returning from trips not with souvenirs, but with crushing medical debt. Some forced to drain savings or take out loans simply to stabilize their health while far from home. So, what proactive measures can seniors over 70 take to mitigate these daunting risks if they're determined to travel? Preparation is paramount. Before embarking on any journey, a comprehensive consultation with a physician is non-negotiable. This should include a thorough health evaluation to identify potential vulnerabilities, a review of current medications, ensuring an ample supply for the trip, and a candid discussion about the specific risks posed by the planned itinerary. Researching the healthcare infrastructure of your destination is equally critical. Know where the nearest hospitals or clinics are, their quality of care, and how accessible they'll be in an emergency. For international travel, securing robust travel insurance is an absolute must. Opt for a policy that explicitly covers medical evacuations, extended hospital stays, and treatment for pre-existing conditions. Packing a detailed medical summary, including a list of medications, allergies, and emergency contacts, can also expedite care if the worst occurs. Ultimately, when it comes to safeguarding health after 70, meticulous planning can spell the difference between a memorable adventure and a catastrophic misadventure. While health risks undeniably loom large, they're not the sole peril. Traveling at this age introduces other formidable challenges as well. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 1 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. Number 2. Increased exposure to infections and contaminants. Another critically underappreciated hazard for travelers over 70 is the heightened exposure to a barrage of infectious agents, germs, viruses, bacteria, and environmental contaminants that can wreak havoc on an aging body. The very nature of travel thrusts individuals into high-risk settings. Bustling airports teeming with crowds, tightly packed airplane cabins, busy public transit systems, and restaurants serving unfamiliar cuisine. For younger, more resilient travelers, contracting a cold, a mild stomach bug, or a fleeting respiratory infection might register as little more than a temporary annoyance, a day or two of discomfort before bouncing back. For seniors, however, these same encounters can precipitate far graver outcomes: prolonged illness, hospital admissions, or lasting damage to already fragile health. The reality is stark. A single trip can expose an older adult to a greater concentration of pathogens in a matter of days than they might face over months in the predictable safety of their home environment. Aging naturally weakens the immune system, a process known as immunosenescence, diminishing its capacity to fend off invaders or recover swiftly from infections. Respiratory illnesses, in particular, pose an outsized threat. Research consistently demonstrates that seniors are disproportionately vulnerable to severe complications from influenza, pneumonia, and even the common cold, especially when encountering novel strains in foreign regions where their bodies lack prior immunity. Add to this the fact that older adults often have comorbidities, like chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, COPD, or weakened heart function, that amplify the danger, and the stakes become even higher. Air travel, a cornerstone of most long-distance journeys, exemplifies this peril. Airplanes are notorious petri dishes. Passengers sit shoulder to shoulder, inhaling recirculated air for hours on end, while the constant influx of international travelers introduces a melting pot of viruses and bacteria. Studies have shown that the risk of catching a respiratory infection increases significantly during flights, a danger magnified for those whose immune defenses are already compromised. Beyond the skies, food and water safety presents another minefield. The allure of sampling local delicacies, street food in Bangkok, fresh ceviche in Peru, or a crisp salad in a Mediterranean village, can be irresistible, but for seniors, these culinary adventures carry hidden risks. Unfamiliar spices, ingredients, or preparation methods can upset sensitive digestive systems, while foodborne pathogens like norovirus, E. coli, or salmonella strike older adults with greater ferocity. Dehydration from such illnesses can quickly escalate, taxing kidneys and other organs already operating at reduced capacity. Even tap water, perfectly safe for locals acclimated to its microbial profile, can harbor bacteria or parasites that a traveler's system isn't equipped to handle. Then there are the subtler, often invisible threats lurking in shared spaces. Public restrooms, hotel rooms, rental cars, and tourist attractions are rife with contaminated surfaces, doorknobs, handrails, elevator buttons, and tray tables that are infrequently sanitized to a level that guarantees safety. For seniors who depend on mobility aids like canes, walkers, or wheelchairs, the danger is amplified. These devices become conduits for germs as they repeatedly contact public surfaces and then hands or clothing. A simple touch can transfer a virus like rhinovirus or a bacterium like MRSA, setting the stage for an infection that could derail an entire trip, or worse. How, then, can seniors shield themselves from this microbial onslaught if travel remains on the table? Vigilance and proactive habits are key. Wearing a high-quality mask in crowded or enclosed spaces like airports, planes, or buses can drastically cut the risk of airborne transmission. Frequent hand washing with soap, supplemented by alcohol-based hand sanitizer when sinks aren't available, should become second nature. When it comes to food and drink, caution is the watchword. Stick to bottled or purified water, even for brushing teeth. Avoid raw or undercooked dishes, and opt for thoroughly cooked meals from reputable establishments. For international trips, consulting a doctor about destination-specific vaccinations, e.g., hepatitis A, typhoid, or flu shots, and packing a travel health kit with anti-diarrheal medication, antibiotics, and immune-supportive supplements can provide a critical buffer. Cleaning wipes for wiping down high-touch surfaces, like armrests or hotel remote controls, add an extra layer of protection. With diligent preparation and a keen awareness of these risks, staying healthy on the road is achievable, but it demands effort and foresight. Yet, even with these precautions in place, health concerns are just one piece of the puzzle. Traveling after 70 can strain not only your body but also your finances, emotional resilience, and overall peace of mind, raising the question of whether the rewards still outweigh the mounting challenges. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. Number 3. Travel fatigue and recovery challenges. Traveling often conjures images of adventure and relaxation, but for seniors over 70, the reality can be far less glamorous. The physical and mental toll of travel can hit harder than anticipated, turning what might seem like an exciting getaway into an exhausting ordeal. Long flights with cramped seating, early morning check-ins at bustling airports, unpredictable delays, and hours spent walking through terminals or tourist sites can drain energy reserves quickly. For younger travelers, a single night of solid sleep might be enough to bounce back, but for older adults, the fatigue can linger stubbornly for days, weeks, or even longer. This prolonged exhaustion doesn't just sap energy, it takes a broader toll. A weary body often means a compromised immune system, reduced coordination, and a heightened vulnerability to illness or injury, transforming a dream vacation into a grueling test of endurance. One of the most insidious culprits behind travel fatigue for seniors is disrupted sleep, a challenge that's easy to underestimate until it's too late. Sleeping in an unfamiliar bed, whether it's a lumpy hotel mattress or a noisy cruise cabin, can make rest elusive. Add in the chaos of late-night arrivals, thin walls amplifying every sound, or the disorienting shift of crossing multiple time zones, and achieving restorative sleep becomes a near-impossible feat. Sleep deprivation isn't just an inconvenience, it's a serious health risk. It dulls mental acuity, making it harder to navigate new surroundings or enjoy planned activities. It weakens the body's defenses, inviting colds or worse at the worst possible time. Research even links poor sleep to increased cardiovascular strain, a concern that grows more pressing with age. For seniors crossing several time zones, jet lag isn't just a fleeting annoyance. It can stretch on for days or weeks, far longer than it might have in their youth. What begins as a thrilling journey can devolve into a haze of exhaustion, leaving travelers feeling depleted rather than refreshed. The physical strain of travel compounds these issues further. Hours spent seated on a plane, bus, or train might sound restful, but for seniors, it's anything but. Prolonged immobility stiffens muscles, swells joints, and heightens the risk of dangerous blood clots, especially for those with circulatory problems or a history of deep vein thrombosis. For individuals managing arthritis or chronic pain, these extended periods of stillness can ignite flare-ups that persist well beyond the journey's end. Then, upon arrival, the demands escalate, hauling luggage through crowded stations, climbing steps to reach a hotel room, or trudging across uneven terrain to see the sights. Activities that sound delightful on an itinerary, guided tours, museum visits, scenic hikes, can morph into overwhelming marathons when energy is already low. What's intended as a rewarding escape can instead become a relentless slog, with the body begging for respite long before the itinerary allows it. Consider Richard, a spirited 75-year-old retiree with a lifelong passion for travel. He and his wife eagerly planned a 2-week European adventure, expecting it to rival the carefree trips of their younger years. But reality hit hard. A 10-hour overnight flight left Richard cramped and restless, followed by a chaotic airport dash to catch a connecting shuttle. Arriving jet-lagged with a 6-hour time difference, he felt the weight of exhaustion before their vacation had truly started. By day 2, his legs ached from cobblestone streets, his mind fogged during museum tours, and he found himself napping on benches instead of soaking in the culture. Halfway through, he caught a cold that sapped what little energy he had left. By the time he acclimated to the time zone, their departure loomed, and the return flight undid any progress. Back home, Richard spent nearly a month recovering, fatigued, irritable, and regretting the ambitious itinerary. His story isn't unique. It's a cautionary tale of how travel's hidden demands can overshadow its joys. Diet and hydration present additional hurdles. Away from the comforts of home, seniors may encounter unfamiliar cuisines, spicy, rich, or simply incompatible with their usual routines, that upset digestion or trigger discomfort. Access to water can be sporadic amid busy travel days, and the temptation to skip it grows when restrooms seem scarce. Dehydration sneaks up quietly, bringing fatigue, dizziness, and confusion that amplify every other challenge. Paired with poor sleep and physical overexertion, these disruptions create a perfect storm, leaving many seniors feeling worse after a trip than they did before it began. So, how can seniors mitigate these risks if travel remains on the table? Strategic planning is key. Building in ample rest days, free of packed schedules, allows the body to recharge. Prioritizing hydration with a reusable water bottle and packing familiar, nutrient-rich snacks can stabilize energy levels. Opting for shorter flights with layovers offers chances to stretch and move, while afternoon naps can offset sleepless nights. Above all, seniors must honestly assess their stamina and tailor plans accordingly, perhaps swapping a whirlwind multi-city tour for a slower-paced single destination. Travel should invigorate, not debilitate, and recognizing personal limits ensures the experience remains a pleasure rather than a penance. Number 4. Higher risk of falls and injuries. Beyond fatigue, one of the gravest risks for travelers over 70 is the heightened likelihood of falls and injuries, a threat magnified by age and environment alike. As we grow older, natural declines in balance, muscle strength, reflex speed, and bone density erode the body's resilience. A minor trip at home might mean a bruised ego and a quick recovery, but a fall while traveling can spiral into a life-altering crisis. Fractured hips, wrists, or ankles, extended hospital stays in foreign countries, and even permanent losses of mobility aren't rare outcomes. They're all too common realities. What begins as a leisurely escape can end in a painful, expensive nightmare, with consequences that ripple long after the suitcase is unpacked. The travel landscape itself often conspires against seniors. Familiar routines and predictable home settings give way to unpredictable terrain. Hotels with slick marble floors, cruise ships with swaying decks, or historic sites with worn, uneven steps. Dim lighting in narrow hallways, missing handrails on steep staircases, and wet cobblestones glistening after rain turn simple movements into high-stakes gambles. Many destinations, especially those prized for their charm, lack modern accessibility features. Picture a quaint village with no ramps, a tour bus with a high step, or a medieval castle with winding, unmarked paths. These aren't just inconveniences, they're accident traps. And if a fall occurs far from home, emergency care may be slower, less equipped, or linguistically challenging, amplifying the fallout of even a minor mishap. Linda's story illustrates this peril vividly. At 78, she was fit and active, walking daily in her flat suburban neighborhood with ease. Her dream of exploring Europe felt within reach, until it wasn't. Arriving in Italy, she marveled at the beauty but struggled with its steep, irregular streets. One evening, distracted by the charm of a Tuscan alley, she misjudged a curb in fading light. Her foot slipped, and she crashed down, fracturing her hip on the unforgiving stone. Rushed to a local hospital, she faced surgery in an unfamiliar system, cutting her trip short. Back home, months of painful rehabilitation followed. Her mobility forever diminished. The trip she'd saved for became a regret she couldn't erase, a stark reminder that travel's allure can mask its hazards. Fatigue plays a sinister role here, too. Long travel days, rushing through sprawling airports, skipping meals, or pushing through jet lag, erode focus and stability. Tired muscles falter, reflexes dull, and a single misstep becomes inevitable. For seniors with arthritis, osteoporosis, or chronic pain, the stakes climb higher. Hours of walking or standing inflame joints, swell ankles, and sap strength, making a sudden stumble more likely and more damaging. Even the fittest seniors can't escape the cumulative wear of a packed itinerary. Prevention demands vigilance. Choosing destinations with robust accessibility, think elevators, ramps, and smooth pathways, cuts risks significantly. Steering clear of treacherous terrain like rocky trails or icy slopes is non-negotiable. Sturdy, supportive shoes with good grip, a collapsible walking stick, and regular rest breaks bolster safety. Seniors should pace themselves, avoiding the temptation to overdo it, and always prioritize sleep and hydration to keep coordination sharp. Most critically, they must know their limits. No postcard-worthy vista or bucket list checkmark justifies a fall that steals independence. Travel can enrich life, but only if it doesn't break the body in the process. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 3 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. Number 5. Travel insurance and financial risk. When envisioning the potential pitfalls of traveling in one's later years, particularly after reaching the age of 70, health concerns often take center stage. However, an equally significant yet frequently overlooked danger lies in the financial risks that accompany such adventures. Many seniors embark on their journeys with the comforting assumption that their existing health insurance, personal savings, or credit cards will serve as a safety net should trouble arise. The harsh reality, however, is far less forgiving. Travel-related medical emergencies, unexpected trip cancellations, and even cunning financial scams can erode a senior's financial security at an alarming rate, transforming what was meant to be a rejuvenating getaway into a devastating economic ordeal. For many older adults, a single unforeseen incident can unravel years of careful planning, leaving them grappling with crushing expenses and emotional distress that linger long after the trip ends. One of the most daunting financial threats for seniors traveling abroad is the cost of medical care. A common misconception among older travelers is that their domestic health insurance will seamlessly extend its coverage beyond national borders. In truth, most standard health insurance plans offer little to no protection in foreign countries. Imagine a scenario where a senior suffers a fall, contracts an illness, or experiences a sudden medical emergency while exploring a distant locale. Without adequate coverage, they could face astronomical out-of-pocket costs, potentially tens of thousands of dollars, for hospital stays, doctor visits, or life-saving treatments. Even in nations where healthcare is relatively inexpensive compared to Western standards, the price of an emergency medical evacuation, such as an airlift to a better-equipped facility or even back home, can easily soar into the tens or hundreds of thousands. For seniors without a comprehensive travel insurance policy tailored to international medical needs, the choice becomes stark: drain personal savings to cover these exorbitant bills or risk foregoing critical care altogether, a decision no one should have to make. Beyond the realm of medical emergencies, trip cancellations pose another substantial financial hazard. Seniors often plan their travels well in advance, sometimes 6 months or a year ahead, booking flights, hotels, cruises, or guided tours with the optimistic belief that their health will hold steady. Yet, aging brings with it an inherent unpredictability. A sudden diagnosis, a flare-up of a chronic condition, or an unexpected injury can force a last-minute cancellation or postponement. Unfortunately, the travel industry is not always sympathetic to such circumstances. Airlines may impose hefty fees or offer no refunds for canceled flights, hotels might enforce rigid no-show policies, and cruise lines could retain deposits or charge penalties that amount to thousands of dollars. Without a robust travel insurance plan that includes cancellation coverage, seniors stand to lose significant sums, money that might have taken years to save, leaving them with nothing to show for it but frustration and regret. Adding yet another layer of complexity is the pervasive threat of scams and fraud, a danger that disproportionately targets older travelers. Seniors, particularly those venturing into unfamiliar territories, can become prime targets for opportunistic criminals who exploit their vulnerability. These scams can take many forms: a fraudulent taxi driver charging exorbitant fares for a short ride, a street vendor inflating prices for basic goods, or a sophisticated con artist weaving an elaborate tale to extract credit card details or personal information. Some scammers zero in on older adults who appear disoriented or out of their element, banking on the likelihood that they won't immediately recognize the deception unfolding before them. Worse still are the predatory schemes that strike before the trip even begins. Think fake vacation rentals or too-good-to-be-true tour packages advertised online. These ruses can siphon off thousands of dollars, leaving seniors stranded or forced to shell out additional funds to salvage their plans. Take, for example, the cautionary tale of George, a 76-year-old retiree with a lifelong habit of meticulous financial planning. George had scrimped and saved for a dream vacation to a tropical paradise, booking what he believed was a charming beachfront hotel through a seemingly legitimate website. Upon arrival, however, he discovered the bitter truth. The hotel didn't exist. He had unwittingly fallen victim to an online scam, and the money he'd paid, non-refundable and untraceable, was gone. Stranded in an unfamiliar place with no accommodations, George scrambled to secure an alternative hotel, only to find that the available options were far pricier than his budget allowed. What should have been a blissful escape morphed into a stressful, costly nightmare, with the financial fallout haunting him long after he returned home. So, how can seniors safeguard themselves against these formidable risks? The first step is to thoroughly review their existing health insurance policy to determine its scope of international coverage. If it falls short, as most do, purchasing a comprehensive travel insurance plan is non-negotiable. This should include robust provisions for medical emergencies, including evacuation, trip cancellations, and interruptions, ensuring that unexpected events don't translate into financial ruin. Second, when arranging travel, seniors should stick to well-established, reputable companies for bookings. Airlines, hotels, and tour operators with verifiable track records, and steer clear of deals that promise luxury at suspiciously low prices, as these are often the bait used by scammers. Third, vigilance is key while on the road. Limit the amount of cash carried, use credit cards with fraud protection, keep personal financial details closely guarded, and approach unsolicited offers or overly friendly strangers with healthy skepticism. Travel after 70 can still be a source of joy, adventure, and fulfillment, but it undeniably demands a heightened level of caution. The potential for staggering medical bills, non-refunded cancellations, and predatory scams underscores a sobering truth. The financial stakes are higher than many seniors anticipate. The unpredictability of health, combined with the cunning of those who prey on travelers, turns every trip into a calculated gamble, one that requires preparation, not just enthusiasm. Does this mean seniors should abandon their wanderlust and resign themselves to staying home? Not at all. With the right precautions, the rewards of travel can still outweigh the risks. It's simply a matter of planning smarter, not harder. While travel can be exciting, these financial risks make it clear that after 70, extra caution is required. The unexpected costs, the possibility of losing money due to scams, and the sheer unpredictability of health emergencies make travel a gamble that not every senior is prepared to take. But does this mean you should never travel again? Not necessarily. Well, there you have it. 5 eye-opening reasons why traveling after 70 comes with risks that deserve your attention, from health emergencies to financial traps that can turn a getaway into a nightmare. We've walked through the challenges and shared practical ways to stay safe if you still choose to hit the road. Now, we'd love to hear from you. What's one thing you've learned today that stuck with you? How do you plan to put it into practice in your life? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your insights mean the world to us. If you like this video, please leave your comment below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content to inform and inspire you. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.